When this round was about to start, everything I needed was to just get one more win and then I would win the match. So this was round number 4 out of 6 in my match against Odin, and everything that was required was a win, and then the match would be over. Now, that would be a very difficult thing to do, of course, because he was rated over 2100 and was a strong player, but I had started with 2.5 versus a half, so I was having a fantastic score. I decided that I was going to give it my absolute everything and I was not going to hold back. He started with the move e4 and I went c5. He went b4, which is the wing gambit, and I, in this moment, regretted telling him the day before how much I hate playing as the wing gambit. I don't know what I was thinking, but I literally told my chess opponent the opening I hate to play against the most, and surprise, surprise, he played that opening.
Okay, so I had my family come over yesterday, and with 2 kids, and then we booked a family room, so I haven't slept much tonight. Okay, I slept really good yesterday, and then I played like a dumpster, so hopefully less sleep makes me play better. Okay, I was thinking a lot before I went to sleep as well about what to play, if I should play something solid, try to play a long game, and then I decided to go for wing gambit instead, and as they say, live by the sword, die by the sword.
So the idea of the wing gambit is that you're sacrificing this b pawn, but what you're doing is that you're basically going to try to get as much center as possible. So he went a3 and I went e5. This was the first time I play this. I'd never really played this move before. Typically I go d5, but I just have a terrible score against it, so I decided to try something new. He brought out his bishop and I went knight c6. Then he brought out his other knight, and I went bishop e7, which apparently is a mistake.
Hello everybody, I'm back. I am so not shocked about the fact that Odin decides to play b4. I hate playing against the wing gambit, like I hate it so much. And I told him yesterday, why did I tell Odin yesterday that I hate playing against the wing gambit? Of course he's gonna play it against me. We're still playing the match. Well, anyways, I am improvising right now. I think e5 is not such a good move, but I just want to play something I understand. And so I found a plan that I like with this. I think the evil bar is gonna say that it's a really weird move, but I'm going for it. I'm gonna be creative. Yesterday worked out when I was trying to be creative, so hopefully it works out today too. It's an early morning round, but I feel good, feel energized, and yeah, I'm gonna see if Odin has made a move yet. I'll be back a little bit later. I feel like several times this game.
Now what you're gonna see is that I very soon got one of the worst openings ever. Like, my position was horrendous. He took my pawn on b4, I took it back, and then after he went c3, threatening my bishop, and I retreated, which was a mistake. I should have gone bishop d6, because after bishop e7, well, he had this incredible move, queen b3. Now, the engine thinks that this is not the best move. Why? Because even though it looks incredible for basically attacking my king and there's not really any good way of me to defend this pawn, he actually just has a stronger move, which is to play d4, and here he just has an incredible position. My pieces are all really bad, and this is just a terrible position. Maybe I have to go bishop d6 to defend this pawn. However, he went queen b3, which I thought was an incredible move during the game because it forced me to go knight h6 to defend that pawn. And then after he went d4, it forced me to go castle so that I would not lose this f7 pawn. Because my bishop is on e7, I could never go queen e7 and defend this pawn in a normal way. This means that now I had the worst king ever, but the one thing that gave me a bit of happiness was the fact that I had the bishop pair. And I think I even said in the confessional booth that as long as I'm not getting checkmated, I'm fine.
This is a disaster. I just missed queen b3. I should have gone bishop c5 and there's no problems, but I thought it's the same. And my bishop is slightly better on e7 and c5. But if I just go bishop c5, there's no problem, I think. So I just blundered. My position is really bad right now. I don't think it's lost. But I guess it's like plus 1.5 or something, I don't know. So very, very bad. But at least I have his dark squared bishop. And I know he likes his bishop, so... if I can just try to trade queens, it could be holdable, but... I mean, I still have an extra pawn, to be fair.
So he went castles, and I was just really sad because I thought that I'd really messed up, but I thought, okay, let's just have fun and try to play it my very best.
Quite happy about my move, short castle, because now if she tries knight a5, I can take an f7, rook takes, and then just I take an a5 and knight e5, and she can't stop me taking the rook on f7, I believe. So there's a lot of tactics in the position, and I have a good center. She has a double pawn, and I mean, yeah, should be really, really good for me. Let's go, boys.
I went d6 to defend this pawn on e5. He went bishop d5, putting some pressure on my c6 knight. And now I went queen c7, defending that knight and also defending this pawn. He got his knight out, and I decided to get my bishop to g4 to threaten to take his knight, because now also I'm putting a lot of pressure on his d4 pawn, which I was really happy about. So I started really liking my position. He went queen d1 to defend the knight, so that now if I take, he can take back with the queen. And I didn't want to spend any time trying to take and get rid of my bishop pair now. I decided here to go bishop f6 with the plan of rerouting this knight over here, because I realized that if I'm able to trade this knight for this bishop, I will have the strongest bishop pair ever, and it will dominate his whole position. So my plan started. I went bishop h5 here. He went g4. He was really pushing towards my bishop, but now I got to place my bishop on a fantastic square. And now my move knight e7 was going to come with even more force. He went queen d2, which I also thought looked like a very natural move, threatening my pawn. But I decided that I did not care about this pawn. If he takes the pawn on h6, it doesn't matter. I decided instead to go knight e7 to threaten to take this bishop and start to just, well, I was threatening right now to take the bishop, perhaps go bishop e4, etc. So he spent here a bit of time thinking, and he ended up taking my pawn on e5. And I simply took back, and now I was very happy because I was going to be able to get maybe this file for my rook. He defended his bishop, and now it was the time to do the move I've wanted to do for so long. At this point, I felt confident. I knew that my position was way better than it was a while ago. My bishops were defending my king, and this bishop was going to be gone now. So I quickly realized here when I took on d5 that there had to be a lot of tactics. So I spent quite some time here to find the tactics, because as you can see, this bishop being on the same diagonal as that rook is a very strong bishop, and there's all these ideas of pushing. And so I was trying to figure out what the best way was here to move forward, but I realized here that I had to be quite a lot better. So e4 was the move that just came very naturally. I knew I had to do it, but now I had to figure out what was I gonna do. I was thinking about several things. I was thinking about pushing this e-pawn and sacrificing, and I saw all kinds of lines here with e3, he takes it, and then I go maybe rook e8, and then the queen has to go back, and then I can go maybe queen c5, or rook e4 I was looking at it. So I was looking at all kinds of things, but I'm a materialistic girl, and so I like to know that I'll get something back for sure from my pawn, and I couldn't figure out if I for sure was going to get something back. So I went queen e5 here instead, because I saw that if he goes knight c2, I thought that I can now go e3, because I saw basically what's going to happen in the game. However, here he could have just simply gone queen e2, and that would have been a bit better. But he decided here to take, and he spent quite a long time thinking about that. And now I was very happy because I had calculated everything that was going to happen. I had calculated all of this. Bishop takes c2, forcing move, knight takes c2, then we take the queen. And now, ba-ba-boom, I win the rook. And now I was very happy because I was going to enter this endgame where I was an exchange up. However, it was crucial for me to play this endgame in the correct way, because if I start playing very slowly, he can very quickly get some scary pawns. And if he's able to get his king up and the knight gets to a good square, this might not be so clear. So I now found a very important move. My mom actually said it was almost a must move in this position to really get a very winning position. And that was to go a5. The idea of going a5 is that I'm starting the path of pushing my pawn, but at some point I'm gonna try to do something like this perhaps whenever my pawn is on a2. So I'm basically, the best way of defending is to attack. That's a saying in chess, and I'm starting my form of attack. What I also realized was that if I'm able to get rid of one of these two pawns, basically if I'm able to get rid of this one and trade it for this pawn, it would be way easier for me to stop this pawn. So everything that I wanted was to exchange these pawns and to push this pawn all the way till the end. I also realized that if I got rid of this b pawn, the b file would be open, which would make it easier for my rook to transport itself to the square it wants to go to, which is b1. So my plan here was very clear, but I just had to find a way of doing it, and I only had 7 minutes left. So he went king f1. I spent a few minutes and I went rook c8. He continued with his king. I went a4, and I had calculated that now after king d3, I had a fantastic move, which I thought was almost a must move right now too, which was the move b5. Now finally that this pawn cannot push forward and it is forced to take over here, I can do this move because after c takes b5, I can go rook c5. And what is the idea? The idea is that if he defends this pawn, I can just go a3. And if he defends again, I'll take this pawn. And if he pushes, I'll be able to make a queen with check. And that was very important. So in this position, he went b6. I went rook b5 to win that pawn. And he started pushing the other pawn. So I took the pawn on b6. He went knight c4. I checked him. And now, I mean, I only had 3 minutes left, but I realized his plan, which was that he wanted to go d7 so that if I go now a2, he can take my pawn and I cannot take back because then he will make a queen. Now, if I actually blunder my a pawn, I will not win this game anymore. The only person that can really win then actually is my opponent. He's going to be in a bit of a better position, but it'll probably be a draw. So now it was very important that I found this move, rook b7, because after rook b7, when he takes on a3, I can take on d7, and now I will be able to trade rooks. If he would have taken with the knight, I can once again just take here, and then I'll be able to go rook d2, and his knight is going to be pinned, which is very important. So I went rook takes d7, he got his king, he pushed his king, we traded rooks, and now it's very easy for me to win when it's a rook versus a knight. So that's the important thing, that he cannot keep the rook. It's very difficult for him to just defend with the knight because the knight is a clumsy chess piece. I was going to say a clumsy animal, but not a clumsy animal, just a clumsy chess piece. And the knight just cannot move to so many squares at the same time. It's a short range piece. So king e3, we played these moves. I was able to win that pawn, and he kept doing tricks. He kept trying to find some good check with his knight. But in this position, after I took the pawn on f4, Odin resigned, and I officially won this game and won the match. Now, according to FIDE rules, when you're playing a match, typically the games that are played after the match is over will not be rated. So even though we played 2 more games, those games were not rated because they finished after the match had ended. The match officially ended here because there was a winner. I won the match with 3.5 points. However, I still haven't gotten the rating of this game because something has gone wrong, I think. But I'm trying to get the rating for this game. I've only gotten the rating for my first 3 games, but I'm pushing for getting the rating in this game. But this should be the final game that is rated in this match. So I hope that you've enjoyed seeing these games. I did play a beautiful next game. I mean, I really want to show you certain moves of that. But anyways, I hope that you've enjoyed watching all these tournament recaps and seeing how it went for me in my match against Odin. I can actually say that I ended up winning the match with 5.5 points versus a half. I won the next 2 games that were played in the same day as this. So I won all 3 games in the same day. I was playing like out of my life. I was playing the best chess I've ever played. So I definitely felt like a big winner. So I'm very happy about that. So thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you also Neurogum for sponsoring the match. Go check out Neurogum. I'll have a link in the description box down below, and have a wonderful, incredible, fantastic day.